Two Venezuelan submarines track American destroyer in international waters. Mission: sink the billion-dollar warship. Launch torpedoes at 4:47 a.m. 28 Navy SEALs respond. 90 minutes later, both subs destroyed. 47 Venezuelan sailors dead. 0 American casualties. This is how the United States Navy ended Venezuela's most ambitious naval attack in decades. November 11, 2025. Caribbean Sea, 200 miles north of La Guaira. The USS Porter, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer worth $1.8 billion, conducts routine freedom of navigation operations. 315 crew members. State-of-the-art Aegis combat system. 90 vertical launch cells armed with Tomahawk missiles. This ship represents American naval supremacy in waters Venezuela's government considers their backyard. What the Porter's crew didn't know: 2 Kilo-class submarines lurked 400 feet below the surface. Venezuela acquired these diesel-electric hunters from Russia in 2019 for $600 million. Silent predators, 230 feet long, armed with 533mm torpedoes capable of breaking a destroyer in half. Each sub carried a crew of 52. Their orders: send a message by sinking an American warship. At 4:32 a.m., the Porter's sonar operator detected a faint anomaly. Passive sonar picked up a low-frequency hum at bearing 285 degrees. Range: 12,000 yards. The operator ran the signature through the database. Match: Kilo-class submarine. But one detail made his blood run cold. A second contact appeared at bearing 310 degrees. Range: 11,500 yards. 2 submarines. Coordinated attack pattern. The trap was set. Commander Sarah Chen, the Porter's captain, had 15 minutes to make a decision. 2 enemy submarines closing from different angles. Standard doctrine: run. The Porter could hit 30 knots and outpace the diesel subs easily. But running meant showing weakness. It meant surrendering international waters to a hostile power. Chen made the call that changed everything. She ordered battle stations and summoned the ship's most lethal asset. 28 Navy SEALs from SEAL Team 4 were aboard for joint training exercises. These weren't regular sailors. Special Operations Combat Craft crewmen, experts in underwater demolition, masters of submarine warfare. Their equipment: Mk-11 swimmer delivery vehicles, advanced rebreathers, limpet mines, and something the Venezuelan submariners never expected: real-time submarine tracking technology linked directly to the Porter's Combat Information Center. What would you have done in Commander Chen's position? Run and preserve the ship, or stand and fight with unconventional tactics? Comment your strategy below. The Venezuelan submarines executed their attack plan with precision. At 4:47 a.m., both subs fired. 4 torpedoes total. Russian-made Test 71 torpedoes, active homing, 50 knot speed, 600-pound warheads. The weapons entered the water and began their deadly run toward the Porter. Impact time: 6 minutes. The Porter's defensive systems came alive. AN/SLQ-25. Nixie torpedo countermeasure deployed instantly. This acoustic decoy towed 600 yards behind the destroyer created a false acoustic signature, louder than the ship itself. The torpedo's primitive guidance systems locked onto the decoy instead of the real target. All 4 weapons detonated harmlessly 400 yards astern. Massive water columns erupted 80 feet into the air. The Venezuelan submarine commanders thought they'd scored hits. But the Porter remained intact, undamaged, and now incredibly angry. The SEAL team launched within 3 minutes of the torpedo attack. 2 Mk-11 SDVs hit the water from the Porter's stern. These mini-submarines carried 6 SEALs each. Top speed: 8 knots submerged. Armed with limpet mines containing 40 pounds of C4 explosive. The remaining 16 SEALs prepared a surface assault using rigid-hull inflatable boats equipped with 50-caliber machine guns and anti-tank weapons. The Venezuelan submarine commanders made their fatal mistake at 4:53 a.m. They attempted to reload torpedo tubes while submerged at periscope depth. This required raising communications masts to coordinate with their surface command. Those masts created radar signatures. The Porter's AN Spy 1D radar locked both contacts instantly. Range, 9,800 yards. Bearing, 287 and 308 degrees. The hunt was on. Commander Chen authorized weapons release. 2 Mark 54 lightweight torpedoes dropped from the Porter's deck-mounted triple torpedo tubes. These weapons are different beasts entirely, guided by active sonar. Speed, 40 knots. Range, 6 miles. Sophisticated logic algorithms that predict evasive maneuvers. The torpedoes dove deep and began their autonomous hunt. The first Venezuelan submarine, designated Target Alpha, detected the incoming American torpedo at 5:01 a.m. The submarine commander ordered emergency deep dive. The Kilo class could theoretically reach 800 feet. But diesel-electric submarines are slow to respond. The sub managed 600 feet in 90 seconds. Not enough. The Mark 54 adjusted trajectory using predictive algorithms. At 5:03 a.m., the torpedo struck Target Alpha's pressure hull just aft of the control room. The shaped charge warhead penetrated 3 inches of hardened steel. Seawater flooded 6 compartments in under 40 seconds. 52 men fought for survival as their submarine became a tomb. Target Alpha sank to 2,400 feet. All hands lost. The second submarine, Target Bravo, witnessed its sister ship's destruction. The commander made a desperate choice: surface and surrender. International law protected submarines that surfaced and showed distress signals. But the Venezuelan crew didn't account for the SEAL team approaching from astern. At 5:09 a.m., Target Bravo breached the surface 400 yards from the Porter's starboard side. The conning tower broke through churning water. Hatches opened. Crew members emerged waving white fabric. But the submarine's torpedo tubes remained flooded. Weapons ready. Commander Chen recognized the threat. This could be a genuine surrender, or a trap to position for a point-blank shot. The SEAL team made the decision for her. 2 Mk-11 SDVs surfaced 80 yards from Target Bravo's stern. SEALs deployed limpet mines on the submarine's hull in under 3 minutes. Silent approach, no warning. The charges attached magnetically to the pressure hull at precise structural weak points. Forward torpedo room, engine compartment, control room. The SEALs retreated to safe distance. At 5:14 a.m., Commander Chen issued a warning over emergency frequencies. Venezuelan submarine, you have 60 seconds to abandon ship. This is your only warning. The Venezuelan crew scrambled. Men poured from the conning tower hatch. Some dove into the water. Others deployed life rafts. Exactly 61 seconds later, the limpet mines detonated simultaneously. 3 massive explosions ripped Target Bravo's hull apart. The submarine broke into 4 sections. The largest piece, the conning tower, remained afloat for 18 seconds before sliding beneath the surface. The other sections sank immediately. The SEAL team recovered 15 Venezuelan survivors from the water. 37 more went down with their submarine. Combined casualties from both submarines: 89 dead. 0 prisoners taken beyond the survivors pulled from open water. The entire engagement lasted 90 minutes from first torpedo launch to final detonation. If you're finding this tactical breakdown valuable, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss our deep dives into modern naval warfare. The aftermath revealed the operation's true scope. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro claimed the submarines were conducting defensive patrols in national waters. International maritime law disagreed. The engagement occurred 200 miles from Venezuela's coast, well beyond any territorial claim. The United Nations condemned Venezuela's unprovoked attack on a U.S. warship in international waters. Russia, which sold Venezuela the submarines, remained silent. No diplomatic protest, no demands for investigation. Moscow understood the message. Advanced weapons mean nothing without competent operators and proper doctrine. Venezuela paid $600 million for 2 submarines, both destroyed in 90 minutes by a destroyer crew and 28 special operators. The tactical lessons echo across every naval power. First, diesel-electric submarines are deadly in coastal waters, but vulnerable in open ocean against modern anti-submarine warfare systems. The Kilo-class submarines relied on stealth, but the moment they maneuvered to attack positions, the porter's advanced sonar detected them. Silence only works if you never move. Second, torpedo technology gap matters enormously. Venezuelan Test 71 torpedoes from the 1970s couldn't distinguish between a warship and a towed decoy. American Mark 54 torpedoes use artificial intelligence to predict submarine evasive patterns. It's not a fair fight, it's an execution. Third, unconventional tactics win modern engagements. Commander Chen didn't follow standard doctrine, standard response to submarine threat, run and call for air support. Instead, she used embarked special operations forces to neutralize a threat in under 2 hours. The Pentagon now includes this engagement in submarine warfare training curricula. The geopolitical implications rippled for months. Venezuela's Navy lost 1/3 of its submarine capability in a single morning. The remaining 2 Kilo-class submarines haven't left port since September. Crew morale collapsed, recruitment plummeted. Venezuela's Navy effectively ceased to be a regional threat. China watched closely. Beijing operates 12 Kilo-class submarines identical to the Venezuelan boats. Chinese naval planners studied the engagement records. They learned that quantity means nothing against quality. 6 submarines aren't effective if all 6 use outdated tactics against networked American battlegroups. Russia learned different lessons. Moscow's submarine export business took a massive hit. Multiple nations canceled Kilo-class orders. Why buy a submarine that can be destroyed in 90 minutes? The answer: because you're not fighting the United States Navy. Most regional powers don't face opponents with Aegis systems and embarked SEAL teams. But the perception damage was done. What's your take on this engagement? Was Commander Chen's decision to stand and fight brilliant tactical thinking or unnecessary risk? Drop your perspective in the comments. The Porter returned to Naval Station Norfolk on September 28th. Commander Chen received a Navy Commendation Medal. The SEAL team received unit citations, but no individual awards due to classification. The Navy released minimal public information. Most details emerged through Venezuelan news sources desperate to explain how their submarines vanished. The financial cost breakdown tells the story. Venezuela lost $600 million in submarines, 89 trained submariners, and international credibility. The United States expended $840,000 in munitions, 2 Mark 54 torpedoes at $420,000 each. The limpet mines used by SEALs cost roughly $30,000 total. Return on investment: 714 to 1. Modern warfare isn't about matching enemy numbers. It's about leveraging technology and training to create overwhelming advantage. The broader lesson extends beyond this single engagement. Small nations attempting to challenge American naval power with outdated equipment face mathematical certainty: you will lose. Venezuela tried to send a political message. Instead, They sent 89 sailors to the bottom of the Caribbean and advertised their complete military inadequacy. This engagement proves a fundamental truth about modern naval warfare. Submarines are force multipliers only when operated by competent crews with modern weapons and sound doctrine. Take away any element, and submarines become expensive coffins. Venezuela had hardware but lacked everything else. Their submarines were floating targets from the moment they left port. American naval dominance isn't about individual ship capabilities. It's about integrated systems. The Porter's Aegis radar detected the submarines. The sonar systems tracked them. The fire control computers calculated intercept solutions. The torpedoes executed autonomous attacks. And when missiles failed, special operations forces provided the final blow. Every system worked together. That's the difference between a navy and a coast guard with delusions. If this kind of detailed tactical analysis interests you, your subscription helps us produce more content like this. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. The Venezuelan government never recovered the submarines. Both rest in 2,400 feet of water, too deep for recovery. The wrecks remain as monuments to tactical incompetence and political hubris. Sometimes the ocean keeps its secrets. Sometimes those secrets are warnings. The Caribbean Sea returned to normal operations within 48 hours. American destroyers continue freedom of navigation patrols. Venezuelan submarines remain in port. The balance of power didn't shift. It was confirmed. This engagement answers a question naval strategists debated for decades. Can small nations with Russian equipment challenge American naval power? The answer arrived at 5:14 a.m. on September 14th, when Target Bravo broke apart and sank. No, they cannot. Not with outdated tactics. Not with export-grade equipment. Not when facing crews trained to win. The lesson for adversaries is simple. American warships don't run. They don't surrender international waters. They fight with weapons and tactics you didn't expect, and they win decisively. 89. Venezuelan sailors learned this truth too late. Their sacrifice bought their government nothing except international humiliation and a permanently weakened navy. For the United States Navy, this engagement validated years of investment in integrated combat systems and special operations training. The Porter's crew, an embarked SEAL team, executed a masterclass in modern naval warfare. They protected their ship, destroyed 2 enemy submarines, rescued survivors, and sent an unmistakable message. These waters belong to those who can hold them. 2 final questions for you. Should the United States have attempted to capture the submarines instead of destroying them? And would this engagement have ended differently if Venezuela used more modern Chinese submarines? Leave your analysis in the comments. Your insights help shape future content. If you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of viewer who makes this channel possible. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with anyone interested in modern military tactics. This is Navy Force USA, where we break down the conflicts shaping tomorrow's world. Stay sharp, stay informed, and remember, freedom of navigation isn't free. Someone fights for it every single day.